Hello, everybody. Graham Roberts here from VB Associates, and I'm here to talk today a little bit about communication and how you as a leader can punch through the noise. When we think about communications failing, what often suffers the most? In our experience, it's trust, productivity, morale, engagement, all the things that you as a leader are often wanting to be really, really high to maximize the performance of your team. But we find that communication is often the source of many of those things being limited. Now, you'll remember from previous conversations you've had as a leader that the SCARF model really points to what matters to people in an interpersonal relationship: the status, the certainty of things, the autonomy they're given, the relatedness, and the fairness of how they are treated in the work. And many stories, both positive and limiting, can come from this. Because if those five things are in place, often you get a towards response from the person you are talking to. However, if some of them aren't, or even just one isn't in place, often people push away or hold back from really positive communications. Now, here's one of the things to start considering. It comes from this book by a guy called Andy Bounds, The Jelly Effect. Are you spreading jelly? You know, those jelly when it slides off a plate and splats on the floor? Could that be the way that some of your communications are landing? Or do you want to create communications that's powerful, empowering, confident, and really shifts the needle in the people you are talking to? And the way to combat this is to think about the after situation, the what you would like someone to leave with from your communication. Where is the end? And then start working backwards from there. And as you can see here in these examples, read just message one and message two. Which one for you lands more effectively? Often we find many prefer message two. It's a clear instruction with timings and dates and what they need to do to come to that event clearly listed, so it's easy for someone to understand. If you want, just pause for a minute. Just take in the data that you see in front of you and what your personal reaction is to each one of the two messages. And why those messages land is really, really important. So what we often invite many leaders to do is to consider not only the SCARF for someone as they talk to them and the message they'd like that person to leave with after they've been spoken to, but also how to communicate that clearly in the middle with clarity, empathy, and direction being the simple three parts that you can build a sentence around, three sentences around, to really drive your communication effectively forwards. So again, if you want to pause for a second, just pick one of the scenarios here and craft a 2 or 3 sentence after first message that could communicate that message effectively to someone. Remember, the model we're looking to apply here is clarity, empathy, and direction. Give it a go. Just pause for a second. And when you come back, start to think about how some of these important things really matter when you give a message. Signal updates are really, really important. No news is still news to somebody. And you can probably remember many a time where you've wanted to share a message or can't. Well, why not actually say, at this moment in time, we are looking at it, and as soon as I'm able to share more details, I will. Please know that this is on my mind. I am talking to other people in the business, and I will come back to you with some data or some information once I have it. You can encourage questions. If your communication leaves people with open questions at the end, That gives people the safe space to ask what they really want to ask. So you can understand what's at the heart of the matter. And when you're creating your after first message, you can really bring that forwards. The biggest trap is always to overpromise, to keep people calm and on board. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work. So it's always important to be honest about what you don't know yet. And that will build that authenticity and trust with someone by you doing that. Confidence counts. People buy into clarity and conviction. And if you just go back to those couple of messages that you saw earlier, there was a lot of umming and ahhing in message one. And you could see the impact of that on you as you read it. And finally, remember, communication is a process. It's not a one-off. It's an ongoing flow of exchange of dialogue. So you may give some information once, you may be asked to repeat it again, or you may reflect on it and come back with more detail later on when you can. All is always important, and all is always possible and in your control as a leader. So if you want to give yourself one final bit of practice, here is something that you can do. Think of the next message you want to share with your team. Just spend 10 minutes thinking through the scarf situation. What are the 5 things that are going on for that individual that you're about to communicate to about? Ask yourself, am I going to create jelly with that or not? And if you decide not, then look at the after first statement that matters. What do you want someone to leave that conversation with? And then prepare some language that speaks with clarity, empathy, and direction, and give it a go. And if you're even unsure, find a fellow leader in the business and sense check it with them. See what they think on it. See how they might find that land. And I wish you the best with driving some powerful, effective communication going forwards.